Hello everybody and welcome to my shop. Today we're going to talk about not pieces of furniture for the house, but a piece of furniture for the shop. A workbench, which I did from scratch. So I'm going to show you pictures here of the finished product, and I will also show you what it is in the shop in a minute. So as you can see, this workbench is a butcher block type construction, and I used also southern yellow pine construction grade material again. General dimensions of this thing is 8 foot long by 24 inches wide and 34 inches tall. It's a split top, and there is a removable centerpiece. So you see, it's flush, but you can lift it up, and if you move it a little bit, now it's a stop. Okay, if you don't need it, put it back and it stays flush. There is also a quick release slice. So how did I build that thing? Well, I started by ripping, I think that was 2 by 12s, construction grade, in pieces which I glued together. And I started making the legs with a tunnel in it, as you can see on that picture over here. I assembled the feet together using crossbars, as you can see there. And then I added the stretchers to connect the two sides of the legs. Then I worked on the top, so as you saw, the split top, so two sides about 12 inches. And then I started planing the heck out of it. It took forever because I only have this 4.5 Stanley plane I showed you earlier. That's all I had, so it took me hours and hours of end planing. And I also use winding sticks to make sure the top was not twisted. So after hours of planing, I was also looking on the side to get a small lunchbox planer. And I was about to get a DEWALT DWX735X, you know, the 13-inch planer, which you can get anywhere. I'll put you a link in the description if you are interested. And at the same time, the same friend who gave me the miter saw came to me and said there's an online auction where you can find a very cheap planer, which is very good deal. So we bid on that thing and happened to win the planer and also bandsaw at the same time. That's how I started the purchase of big equipment. So here it is. This is Powermatic 20-inch planer. That's a model 221. It's a 7.5 horsepower, 3-phase. You got forward and reverse. Adjusting for the height of a table, rough and fine cutting. I love this thing. 3 straight knives. Maybe in the future I'll update to spiral heads, but so far it's been working great. And obviously you need to have a dust extractor for this, which we'll talk about later. In order to run the planer, I had to get this thing over here. That's an American rotary ADX 20 horsepower 3-phase converter, which I installed myself. So you have the power coming in here with a breaker box. I put a switch here in case something happens, and anyway, when I'm not here, I'd rather not 3-phase power on, just in case. Then from a switch it goes to that box. That box, using this motor here, converts the 220 single phase into 220 or 230/40, depends. So 240 three phase. And then from this box it goes to that breaker panel here, 3-phase breakers, 40 amp and 20 amp. This one is for the big machines, 7.5 horsepower plus, the planer, and the smaller ones 20 amp, which is more than enough for very small machines up to 3 horsepower. So very easy to use. Turn the switch on, turn this on, and I got 3-phase power. It's okay. Okay, so I need to have this on if I want to run 3-phase machinery. And since I have this, I can run more than one machines, and I don't need to get VFDs, variable frequency drives, for each and every one of my machines. So I don't have the frequency shift or switch, but the machines are doing what they're supposed to do, so it works great for me. So let's start with 3-phase, and let's start this thing. And finally, to run this planer, we need a dust extraction system. And there it is. This is based on a Harbor Freight single stage dust collection system, which has been upgraded. 55-gallon drum, Oneida Air System Cyclone, Harbor Freight 2 horsepower dust collection system, Wayne environmental HEPA filter. That makes it a 2-stage dust collection system. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.